Horse Guards parade last night, a ceremony known as Beating Retreat. Taking the salute, the Duke of Edinburgh, Honorary Colonel of the Grenadier Guards, still playing a role on the public stage. The Duke remains busy, but in a documentary shown last night, he told the BBC's Fiona Bruce that at the age of 90, it was time to scale back before he reached his sell-by date.
I reckon I've done my bit. I want to enjoy myself for a bit now. With less responsibility, less frantic rushing about, less preparation, less trying to think of something to say. And on top of that, memory's going. I can't remember names and things. Yes, I'm just sort of winding down.
Philip was an officer in the Royal Navy when his wife, the then Princess Elizabeth, became Queen. Her role was clear, but his as husband of the head of state wasn't.
The problem was, of course, to recognise, if you know what I mean, what the niche was and to try and grow into it. And that was by trial and error. And there was no precedent. But if I asked somebody what you expect me to do, they all look blank.
40 minutes to get around the world. Well, it's going to be a bit of a rush.
So Philip improvised. He appeared on television, becoming the first member of the royal family to give a TV interview. He set up the Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme, from which about 6 million people in more than 100 countries have now benefited. And he was one of the first to champion the cause of nature conservation, a role which required more than a mere fondness for animals.
Would you describe yourself as a green? As green?
No.
Why not?
Well, because I think that there's a difference between being concerned for the conservation of nature and being a bunny hugger.
Along the way, of course, the Duke has ruffled not a few feathers with his reputation for plain speaking and his habit of trying to break the ice with jokes which don't always work. The broadcaster Giles Brandreth has known the Duke for 30 years. He believes he's often misunderstood and underestimated.
He does not wear his emotions on his sleeve. He does not want to expose himself. He has a stiff upper lip. He doesn't believe in introspection. He is that kind of chap. His humor represents that. His attitude to the world represents that. This is a guy who was born in 1921 and I think represents the very best of that generation.
Although he's now 90, the Duke remains physically fit and mentally sharp. He may indeed, as he says, be winding down, but he still has a busy programme and he will continue with his central role of providing unflinching support to his wife, the Queen. Nicholas Witchell, BBC News.